Jessica's upset because she has to do a Nancy Drew book report for school. That's work. I've done hundreds of Nancy Drew book reports on this channel. Just watch one of those videos. The teacher lets Jessica get away with making a poster instead of doing a report. She still complains a one-paragraph summary is way too much work. She tries to get Elizabeth to write the report, but Elizabeth doesn't like Nancy Drew. She what? She's read all the Nancy Drew books and didn't like any of them? What kind of monster is she? And seriously, if she doesn't like Nancy Drew, why did she read all the books? Normal people don't read 60 books from a series they dislike.
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
Mom says they're having 2 guests for dinner tonight. Henry Dennis is a famous screenwriter who just moved to town. Jessica met his daughter Brooke in the last book. Jessica hates Brooke more than anyone else in the world because Brooke was mean to a dog. Jessica, you hated that dog, lied about it, and abandoned it for hours. I don't think you get to complain about other people being mean to the dog. To be fair, Brooke is pretty bad. The only thing she does is complain. She doesn't like the food. She's not hungry. She thinks music and TV are boring. Maybe she and Elizabeth can talk about their mutual hatred for Nancy Drew. Mom says the girls can walk Brooke to school tomorrow. Brooke says, no! I like how someone photoshopped the twins into this picture on the back cover. Jessica is willing to do anything to get out of dealing with Brooke. This includes homework. She makes her Nancy Drew poster. Clearly all she did was print out Nancy Drew pictures and glue them on a board. But Dad thinks it's so fancy. He lets her get out of taking Brooke to school. Elizabeth takes Brooke to school. Again, Elizabeth tries her hardest to be nice to Brooke. She starts several friendly conversations about different topics. Every time, Brooke is mean and shoots her down. Eventually, Brooke tells her, shut up, I don't want to be your friend, stop talking to me. At the end of the book, we're told it's all Elizabeth's fault. She should not have been so mean. She should have been nice and given Brooke a chance instead of judging her unfairly. That is a good moral, but the problem is that it doesn't match the book at all. Elizabeth is nothing but nice to Brooke. I struggle to think of what Elizabeth could have done differently to make Brooke like her. Brooke is mean to everybody at school. She accidentally knocks paint onto Jessica's poster. At least I think it's an accident. It's hard to tell because the paint cup goes from being the third cup on the opposite side of the table to being the only cup on the table right next to her. At lunch, Brooke tries to sit with the twins. They lie and pretend the empty seat is being saved for their sister Jennifer. Jessica quickly changes clothes and pretends to be Jennifer. She looks kind of cute with the bow and the hairstyle. Jessica gets really into the idea of pretending to be her imaginary sister. She wants Jennifer to become Brooke's best friend. That will teach Brooke to stop being a bully. It will? How? In what universe will Jessica go, surprise, I'm not Jennifer. I was Jessica in disguise the whole time. And Brooke will respond, wow, I'll never be a bully again. I sure learned my lesson. Jessica quickly gets tired of pretending to be nice to other people. She forces Elizabeth to be Jennifer, both on the way home from school and at a basketball game. Brooke complains the school doesn't need a cheerleading squad. Jessica made it all up just to get attention. She's not wrong, but it's still not a nice thing to say. Brooke opens up to Jennifer Elizabeth. She says her dad hasn't taken her anywhere in years. He's never around. He doesn't let her pick out her own clothes. He's not going to be in town for her birthday on Monday. He probably forgot it was her birthday. Wow, poor Brooke. That's a lot to deal with, on top of being forced to move in the middle of the school year. When Jessica hears the story, she thinks it's great. That means they can ruin Brooke's life on her birthday. That'll make it even worse for Brooke. Jessica is a terrible person. There are a few scenes where Elizabeth tries to quit the Jennifer scheme, but Jessica talks her into staying. Their parents warn them to be nice to Brooke. They don't know why she acts the way she does. She could have a good reason for being mean. That is good advice, but they do know the reason why Brooke is mad all the time. It's because her parents have abandoned her. Maybe this scene with the parents should have happened 20 pages earlier. Lila has a party where the girls decide to sabotage Brooke's chair at a school assembly. When she sits down, the chair will fall apart. She'll land on her butt, and everyone will laugh at her. The girls get Bruce and his black trans friend Jerry to sabotage the chair for them. Brooke starts crying at lunch because she hasn't talked to her mother all year. The one time she went to her mom's house, Mom refused to see her. Elizabeth has a change of heart and decides to stop the prank, but it's too late. Brooke's chair breaks, she falls down. The entire school laughs at her for 17 panels in a row. That's a long time to laugh at something, considering that 70% of the audience probably couldn't have seen what happened. Mom helps drive home the lesson that the girls were wrong. They should have been nice to Brooke. Elizabeth tells Brooke's sad story to all the other kids. They all have an instant change of heart and decide to throw Brooke a wonderful birthday party. The party is so nice that Brooke instantly forgives everyone for humiliating her. I'm exaggerating. There is a fair amount of apologizing in these scenes, but it's still hard to believe they're all best friends forever now. It's more likely Brooke will join the girls from books 1 and 4, as Jessica's former bullying victims turn best friends who never get mentioned again. The end. Post-book follow-up. I didn't like this book much. It bugs me that Elizabeth is super nice to Brooke the whole time, but the moral of the story is still, Elizabeth is awful. She should have been nice to Brooke. Why does Elizabeth have to be punished for what happened? She actively tried to stop the chair prank. Jessica is the one who's awful. She's the one who should be forced to take responsibility for what happened. I don't know why Brooke hates Elizabeth. What did Elizabeth do to make Brooke hate her so much? While the book succeeds in making Brooke a villain in the first third, I don't think it succeeded in its attempt to make Jessica out as the innocent victim of Brooke's cruelty. Part of the problem is that Jessica doesn't talk to Brooke directly until page 57. And so Jessica's complex revenge scheme comes across as overly mean-spirited. I also could have used more details about the revenge scheme. Step 1 is pretend to be Jennifer. Step 2 is become Brooke's best friend. We're not told what the next few steps are, but somehow this leads to major revenge? If I'm being critical, the Jennifer scheme was entirely unnecessary. They could have done the chair prank on Brooke without spending days inventing a fake person first. And now I'm mad, because the series wasted the potentially great idea of the twins pretending to be triplets. I'd rather see a good story with that premise than seeing them learn not to bully a new student again. I kept wavering between giving a score in the 2 to 4 range, because every time I thought of something that worked well, I thought of something that didn't work, like the misleading cover. Jennifer should have been on the cover. And there is a noticeable quality difference between Brooke on the cover and Brooke in the actual graphic novel. I give Sweet Valley Twins graphic novel number 6, The New Girl, a 3 out of 10.